Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Peace. What up, though? It's KONG. This is the Go Real or Go Home show. I thought I had something on my note. My note's so big, I can see if something on it. You feel me? I can just look down like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Okay, so we on the Go Real or Go Home show is myself, Mark DeAndre. We down here in the basement, you know what I'm saying? What's the dude with the Sway? Sway on his way.
Is that what it is?
I'm going to get bro a turban. That's what I'm going to do.
You gonna, like me a turban?
I'm going to get you a turban.
Oh, God.
Yes.
You know what? All you got to do is call Love, what's his name?
Love Rose.
Love Rose.
She'll wrap you up.
Give me a head wrap. You
She
did it
will
before,
wrap
you can
you
do
up.
it again. And
You
I love
feel
her
me?
raps.
Yes.
Speaking of Love Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was going to say, speaking of her, she
I was
did some
about to
shit at
talk about-
Juneteenth or something like.
I was about to talk about your hair wrap that she put on your head.
Oh, well, yeah, do that. Yeah, that's
Oh, okay, yes. That was like some Saudi shit, you know what I'm saying?
Was
like
it?
Some Saudi, that was definitely.
So that wasn't African.
It was. I mean, that's all in Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's all in Africa.
I thought it was probably
you know what I'm
based or originated.
saying?
in
Yeah, and they
Africa.
got the Sudanese.
And they probably just adopted it like they do a lot
the
of other.
Sudan brothers, they wear that too. Some of the darkest of the dark, the ones that be in the desert a lot, they be wearing that's how they be.
That's the whole
recognized.
point of I see as I think I understand the point of wearing them is because in the desert a lot of sand blows and keep the sand.
Yeah,
out
you
your
got to be
hair.
able to do that. They just put it over here, it just sticks somehow. It be there.
It's like a magnet in it.
Yes. So we doing the Juneteenth wrap up. We just had an amazing weekend. We had an amazing week. We supported some Juneteenth events. We're proud of everybody who got out here and celebrated Juneteenth peacefully and did it for the people and for your culture, had a good time, went home safe. That's really the whole point. Someone said, how do you celebrate Juneteenth? I said, peacefully. You know what I'm saying? What you decide to do with it, that's up to you. We decide to keep it cultural. We decide to keep it about the babies and to focus on our children and to celebrate the wins of the graduates each year and to honor some of our coaches and stuff like we did this year. But that's us. How you decide to do you, how you decide to do you. Just keep it safe, right? So today, I sent Mark a ton of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me just get into this first. Shout out to Juneteenth Dearborn. I believe they were on year 3. Right, we went and Mr. Lamar Phillips of the Martin Luther King, the band director for Martin Luther King Crown Crusaders, he and I did a djembe drum workshop for the Juneteenth Dearborn right there on the City Hall steps. That was dope. That was cool. Of course, a lot of people out there have never seen or used the djembe drum, so you're giving it your culture in them. So that was cool. Moving on. Shout out to Sharia Ayers, who was a guest on our show not too long ago, and their 5K run around Marygrove. That was dope. I heard that was very successful, and of course, the Avenue of Fashion was also very successful. Martin Luther King Crown Crusaders performed there just as they performed, at our event, and then we had what was his name, James Cathy. Shout out to James Cathy for allowing us to share his space. He did the slide. He does slide through Sundays, but it was the Juneteenth Father's Day edition, and it was a great environment. It always is. The food was amazing, and he says he cooks it himself. I didn't know that, but that makes sense because you be trying to count the party. You feel me? I'm like, damn, he got a full.
Trying not to overcook.
You feel me? He got a full band in this joint, right? We got the whole bottom floor of the St. Regis. Everybody dressed up nice. He got the full band and free food. But now it makes sense. He's cooking it himself. You feel me? Because that'll cut into you. Catering for 200 people every Sunday, that'll cut into you. You know what I'm saying? But it was good food. He had vegan options, and that's what we needed. Now,
all I need is baby shower meatballs. I'm happy.
The baby shower, I don't want those meatballs no more, man. I'm straight.
Vegan. Make them vegan. Right? Can you make them vegan?
Huh?
You can make them vegan.
Can you make what vegan?
The meatballs.
What they gonna be like porcupine balls or something?
I had some delicious vegan meatballs at the Historic Museum. I forget what event. It was the meet and greet event for the Hustle exhibit, actually. Yeah.
Delicious. And you had some vegan
meatballs, and
I'll take those over those pre-frozen joints they thaw out and
Yeah,
pour
no,
that
not
gravy
those.
pack
No, man, I'm
on
talking
from
about
GFS.
No, the
I don't want
homemade
those.
ones, man.
Yeah, the ones they roll up. I'm just saying, I ain't been to a catering yet where they was homemade, but if they vegan, they have to be. You know what I'm saying? Now, getting on to the grand finale. You know, not that we saved the best for last, but that's just how it's going to turn out. Juneteenth Detroit Festival is sticking to traditions and also adding our own. One of the traditions we're sticking to is our main day will always be the 19th. We will not adjust that backwards or forwards based on where the weekend is and trying to, you know, figure out where we can squeeze in our holiday. They don't do that for anybody else. So we celebrate it on Monday, and for the next few years, it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So prepare yourselves for that. We about to celebrate all through the week for the next few years. But it was an amazing time, man. And when I tell you the people showed up and showed out, this was like my first time at Maharris Park, maybe. Or that one we had on 7 Mile and Van Dyke when the firefighters started dancing. That was slapping. That was a lot of people, and people came from all over Michigan for that one. I had people there from Grand Rapids, Battle Creek, Lansing. That was beautiful. But this weekend we put ourselves on the map. And the reason I say that is because what we've been doing has been for ourselves. It's been for our village, and it's been for our community. So we've never called the news. I've never called the news for anything I do. And the partners I work with, they've never called the news. Our understanding for getting the news attention would be, if we do this right enough, a mama will call the news, right? Or if it grows big enough, they'll have to pay attention. Mm-hmm. And that's how it happened. First, we had a mama call the news a couple years ago because she fell in love with Go Rosie Grow, our Miss Juneteenth Michigan, the first ever crowned Miss Juneteenth Michigan. And she called the news to let them know she'll be there. Turns out Go Rosie Grow has a friend in the news who, you know what I'm saying, who follows her to her events anyway and has been doing coverage on her. So she brought a lot of good, positive attention to the event a couple years ago, and we've been moving on the momentum of her beautiful smile and the accolades of being royalty for Juneteenth. But now, this year right here, come on, man. Highland Park City Council welcomed us into their city after we decided we were not going to be paying any deposits or trying to meet crazy deadlines dealing with the Park and Rec for Detroit. The way that they do that system is an amazing headache, right? So we went over to Highland Park. Things were a lot more simple, a lot more direct. You deal directly with the people. I've already met the mayor, you know what I'm saying, because she appreciated what we did in her city. We in a city so big, your mayor don't even know what you do in your city.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Not that I guess he's supposed to know about everything, but this was a historic event that we have been putting through paperwork.
It's appreciated to be recognized on that.
Yes. We put the paperwork in 13, 12 years, 11 years in a row. We put the paperwork in 11 years in a row. And then when they decide to throw a Juneteenth event, they don't look to their community to see if anyone's already acknowledging it. You know what I'm saying? They throw it themselves, claim it for themselves. So we moved on, right? We don't have time to we didn't make any posts. We didn't email anybody because Juneteenth does not belong to me. And it does not belong to you. But some things are tacky and sneaky and underhanded. You know what I'm saying? Or people take your ideas. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I shoot ideas. Kobe Bryant once was in an interview and said he shoots 300 jumpers a day. When he was in college, he said he used to shoot less, but he didn't have people to go get the ball. You feel me? Mm-hmm. When he got to the league, got people to run and go get the ball, he was practicing shooting 300 jumpers a day. That's how I feel about my ideas when it comes to Juneteenth. I can throw them joints out there all day. You know what I'm saying? Because we do it for so many different reasons, because we've been doing it for so long. People are doing it to promote their business. They're doing it to promote themselves. And we're doing this to promote our culture and to project our community in a positive light. And we gather those people. We made sure we understood that there were people there Monday who had been to 90s before. So we like, you been to 90s, make some noise. They go crazy. And then we say, if you haven't been to 90s, make some noise. It was even more noise. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted people to understand there's new people here today, strangers here today that don't know a lot of these people, but it's all the same vibe as it always is. People lost their phones, and then they found their phones. Somebody lost their purse, and then they found their purse. I lost my Army fatigue bag 7 times with all the prize money in it. It always came back to me. You know what I'm saying? I told you, I'm not saying y'all don't steal other places. I just know don't nobody steal at 90s. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to comedian Juicy, who ran out and bought her a phone at the crack of dawn the next day, thinking she wasn't gonna ever see her phone again, and lo and behold, it turned up the same night. But she ain't even wait. As soon as the rooster crowed or whatever the hell, Juicy ran out and got her a phone. You know. So what we want to do now is I want to get right into the thank yous and the shout outs. Right. I am not going to remember everyone. That's impossible. However, we're gonna be tagging and sharing and posting pictures and stuff for weeks and weeks to come. Believe me, we got people who haven't even uploaded photos yet, who y'all still all gotta like them and all gotta share them. So this is not over yet, you know. So I think we're gonna start thinking about what we do after, like the after Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Like how we wind down but still celebrate. So we're gonna figure out something to do because I really want to
extend it. You know what I mean? Just keep the culture going. Maybe I don't want to say all year round, but
all month at least.
Yeah, something like
all
that.
month at least. All month at least, because there's other things going on this month that overshadow it. You know what I'm saying? So if
we got to rub it in.
Yes, we got to catch up. We got to catch up to people like Lansing, Michigan, who's been celebrating Juneteenth for 30 years. 30 years.
I didn't know that.
It's never made it to Fox 2, Channel 7. They don't, but that's not because it ain't slapping. That's by design. When we get to talking about Juneteenth, our people have to understand that all that fun they had, all that beautiful unity y'all have seen in the last 7 days, that is why they didn't tell you about Juneteenth. They need to keep us away from each other and then sell us the fear of one another. Because we got black people who's scared of the niggas. You know what I'm saying? But they was all out there together Monday. You know, I know for a fact it was some niggas out there with them black people. You know what I'm saying? But there was no problems. You can't overlook. Ask your pastor. Ask your councilman. Ask, how come y'all have never given us Juneteenth? How come you've never brought it up? How come you never said anything about it? Our black president, he never said anything about it. How dare he do something for us and have them thinking he give a damn? You know what I'm saying? The president who made it a holiday did it out of spite to the rest of the delegation. He knew they didn't want him to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm going to make Juneteenth a holiday because I don't give a fuck about these people either. Right? That was to irritate his coworkers. Right? So now we have it, and you can get your time off work. A lot of people got paid double time. Right? So we working on this now. Right? This is our new thing we working on. We don't want to work on Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to work. You don't want to be the one getting time and a half on Juneteenth. You don't want to be the one getting paid double on Juneteenth, because if we talk about the psychology of that, this celebration is about when they freed a whole state of enslaved brothers and sisters. And imagine when it was time for them to go and the master wasn't ready for them to leave. So he like, you know, you ain't gotta go. You know, I'll give you a shack back there. You know what I'm saying? Give you a little plot of land. You can stay. And bro, like, shit, I'm gonna go ahead and stay. You know, everybody else walking off going to see their destiny, see what they got in front of them, see what they can make for them. But they didn't talk you into staying enslaved. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear people say the slaves didn't have it that bad, they sang and danced the whole time. You know what I'm saying? That's where they get that type of stupid shit from. You know, so don't be the slave that stays when everybody else is outside. You feel me? Don't do that. Just don't do that to yourself. Make them find someone else. Get those other people to work. I'm not going to be here, because ain't that crazy how many of the other people didn't work? They took that off day. You feel me? But you are there. So let's prepare ourselves, right? They're like, well, I need my money. If you know Juneteenth is coming, go on and work you some doubles. You feel me? Get you some extra hours in, work you another shift, you know, because you already know what's up. All y'all start putting in y'all off days. I started putting in my off days in January. I asked for the same off days in June every month since January. Because regardless of whether or not they was going to give it to me, I wasn't coming. I'm not going to ask you for it off this many times and still end up scheduled. That's just not going to happen. So I'm gone, and we'll talk about that later. Treat this just like they treat the St. Patty's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving. It's sacred to them. They will not be trifled with on those days. They will not be bothered on those days. Don't let nobody bother you on your day. Imagine it was 7 days and 7 nights, right? So that's why we're happy so many more people are celebrating this. because I was able to go to an event, be there, and leave. I ain't have to pack up no chairs. I ain't have to clean nothing up. I ain't have to wait for the last person to leave. I enjoyed that. Clap it up for those people. We appreciate y'all for getting this going. We got people on 3 years, they 5 years. It's a brother on the west side do something called the Juneteenth Family Reunion. He on his 3rd year. I hope to run into him and get that and get it plugged in with that next year. But it was great, man. So let's get into some of these. Let's get into some of these news clips. We got 2 news clips. One that's a video. You can't play it?
You can't. You have to send me the video. You can't.
That is a video.
No, you send me the links to the website.
All right. Well, I ain't got time to download it. Let's just show the pictures. Because what I'm supposed to do, download the video? Ain't no room in my phone. After Monday, I ain't got no room in my phone. There was so many pictures and cameras.
Yeah, I ain't. And then you send me that shit 10 minutes before the show. Come on, what you got to talk about?
I don't know. I thought you just had to press the thing.
No, it's more complicated than that.
And see, he went to DeVry in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? DeVry in the 2000s, they know how to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? They know how to do the razzle dazzle.
I didn't say I didn't know how to do it.
I'm just saying, 10 minutes. I didn't have any time. You know, I got a 12-year-old that'll rock that shit.
Go hire him, nigga.
And spend your money on PlayStation games. Look, I read a story the other day. They say a young woman spent $62,000 on gaming, essentially spending her family's entire life savings. It took her 2 weeks. Her mama didn't know what she was doing. By the time she looked up, she had spent 60 racks.
What the fuck?
She had been giving it to friends. They was all just buying video games online and like upgrading video games and shit. Like her whole school.
So this is an adult?
No, she was in high school.
Okay, well, see, a halfway adult.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is the reason why you don't give kids access to your devices. They got your banking information and your accounts.
I don't know how to love her. I don't know how to love her after this. I don't know how to love her after this. You stole all my money. I don't know how to love you after this. You got 2 more years. You can get the fuck out of here. You're going to be, listen, you don't ask me for shit. You're going to wear the clothes you got right now for the rest of the time you're a resident in this house. I don't know how to love her after that. Don't steal from me. Don't steal from me. $62,000, bro. That she said her friends found out she had the money and they just kept asking for it, so she started giving it to them too. You know, but money makes you do crazy things, man. So right quick, we're gonna talk about that submarine thing that I just found out about like 17, 18 minutes ago because I've been so wrapped up in us. You feel me? I ain't even know they did that. You know what I'm saying?
You stupid, dog.
But I already know some of the crazy things I want to do if I ever touch certain amounts of money. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with risking my life, though.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to live long as possible. I'm on wheatgrass, rice cakes, no more drinking, no more smoking. Let's live. You feel me? I do not want to dive into the deep sea, into the deep abyss. I don't want to find out what happens to no dead people.
I said, imagine paying $250,000
For the
to
ride
go
of your
underwater museum exhibit
It's the
of
ride of your life.
an open grave, and you become a part of the fucking exhibit.
They gonna raise the price on that trip. That bitch about to sell for real now. Now they gonna want to go see the submarine.
You want to
that
go
got
die?
lost.
Right, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
You want to go die?
I can't even compare that to
300,000
anything.
to go die.
I can't compare that to anything we do. It's got to be. It would have to be something negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you drank a fifth and then started doing 90 in your vet. You know what I'm saying? I guess because you voluntarily walked into that. You know what I'm saying? I can't compare that shit to nothing we do. What do we do that that's crazy. And then the CEO, I think it was a hit. I think the moment somebody found out that these billionaire people were actually going to do this, that they made sure they wasn't coming back from up under there. Wherever they at, that's where the flight.
They got life insurance policies on all of them motherfuckers.
Wherever they at, that's where the Malaysian flight is at. The sub is in the same parking lot with that Malaysian flight where all them people just disappeared.
This fool said parking lot.
They together. They together. They together. So Juneteenth was amazing. The cook-off was great. Let's get to the picture. Okay, let's do it first. Boom. There's one that says it's a business card for Keep the Bees Buzzing Catering. Keep the Bees Buzzing Catering won the food cook-off. They had all the chefs that participated. It turned out to be 2 of them. They had to provide samples for the people who wanted to vote for them. You know what I'm saying? So they gave out samples of macaroni and cheese and wingdings with a special sauce on. That's what they both gave away. And in the end, the people voted for Keep the Bees Buzzing Catering. And a close second was Beat the Meat. Beat the Meat. It is a vegan catering company by Amore Shane. All right, so she was a close second because Nandi's is a great place for vegan eaters. You know what I'm saying? Like, so once they found out she was over there, they got it in. The other one is the mixologist. Look like a cartoon kid. There we go. Let's see that one. Juneteenth was great, man. Everybody had an amazing time. And one of the sisters who was a great help, Miss Medina, she is the owner of Funky Cold Kid Mixologists, right? So she has her daughters out there with her. They got a full bar, but there's no liquor. It's just a bunch of cool-ass drinks that taste amazing. You know what I'm saying? They're like $4 and $5 drinks. I ran a tab. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to buying the bar, so I ran a tab. Instead of salt around your margarita, you feel me? It's crushed up peppermint. I'm like, how come the bar ain't thought of this yet? It's got motherfuckers with salty, stanky mouths. You know what I'm saying? The peppermint got you together with the strawberry juice and the watermelons. Man, listen, she had an orange juice that had like mango and peach juice mixed up in it. You'd have swore it needed a drink. You could have slid some Keela up in there. You know what I'm saying? That was nice. So shout out to the Funky Cold Kid Mixologist. She is looking for a young man or a young woman to wear her mascot in her events, right? She has a lot of events coming up, and she has a mascot that looks just like that flyer. Can you put that back up there for me? She has a mascot that looks just like this kid on the flyer, and she's looking for a person. I think you got to be like 5'6" or smaller. And, you know, you wear the big head in a jumpsuit, you know. So she's trying to show some love. She needs somebody that fit that. So if you know somebody that'll get out there and have some energy for the bobblehead thing, let us know, right? So we're gonna just start going through the pictures, and we'll talk to them. We'll talk about them as they go. I don't even know what to say, man. I started crying when I read the news, the Detroit news write up on us. I was in Walmart and I'm reading. I started tearing up because I didn't know all this was going on while we were doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know what was going on. I was leading the parade, so I didn't know what was going on in the back. But apparently there was a reporter there, and he was interviewing people, and he asked them, he got their names on there, what they do, what organization they with, and I'm like, look at all these different brothers and sisters getting their exposure, getting their name out, because it's Juneteenth is us, and we are Juneteenth. So if they're gonna talk about it, they're gonna talk about you. The people that were out there made Juneteenth. If they didn't come out there, then it would have been no event. We are Juneteenth, so I really appreciated that, man. So. What other photos I got over there?
Caught a picture of you with some kids and.
Let me see that picture. Oh yeah, we gave a Coach of the Year award to Mr. Latari Miles. He is the coach of the Motor City Kings, and they are a very energetic, powerful young group of brothers. They got an amazing cheer team, and. They have an amazing cheer team, and they have a chant that I love to hear called, he says, "Who's the king?" They say, "I'm the king." He say, "Who's the king?" They say, "I'm the king," but it's like 40 of them. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds so good. I've never heard nothing like that before, and that sounds good. You know, they be like, "We some head buzzers." They be like, they be on some bullshit. So I was happy to hear that. We gave him his award for dedication and determination. He created a team that became a winning team all in the same season. So to put the kids together, to put the children together, coach them, bring all those families together, and also be a winning season, that's some amazing stuff. So we awarded him. There's another coach at Denby High School named Zach Carr. He was also nominated. We have a plaque for him. And we were proud to get that away. We found the brother to give the best car to. It was like a giant, big blue Escalade with like all his trimmings was sparkly and shit. Just gold, just silver dust. That shit was dope as hell. So when they pull up, I say, how did you find out about this? He said, oh, my man said y'all was doing a parade looking for some cold cars, so I pulled up. And I'm like, see, that's what I'm looking for. Word of mouth got him here. His wife in the car, she throwing all their trophies up on the dashboard because apparently this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? So by the time they got to the end of the parade, they dashboard covered in trophies. They waited all day to get their trophy like they just knew it was coming to them. All right, it was a few other cars and Corvettes in there, but they end up winning. Mama Shu from Avalon Village, she was our grand marshal. She drove in an antique Phantom, drop-top Phantom, with her red, black, and green Adidas on. Now, if that ain't culture. Now, we talking about a car that we couldn't even get in. You feel me? We talking about a car we couldn't afford, and we couldn't even get in. Our boxers, I remember the boxers, they sat in them, right? They got the ride in the back of them. Your entertainers, you know, those type of people, but we couldn't afford that type of car. Mama Shoe sliding, you feel me, in the antique Phantom, sitting on the back, foot up on the headrest, though. Adidas up on the headrest on the antique joint, like waving, though. She understood the assignment, as they say. We appreciated that. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. Then when we rounded the corner, we took the parade up Manchester. We made our right on Hamilton. Then we made a left on Oakman. When we bend the corner, all of the vendors are already set up. Everybody's ready to welcome everyone. They all out in the street. They got the pictures. They clapping. Nothing like it. Never had it put together like that before. And in the city of Detroit, they continued to put us on industrial streets where there was no homes. You know what I'm saying? They made us walk where the plants were. You know, here in Highland Park, we walked up Manchester. We surrounded on either side. There's apartment buildings, and people are in the balconies, and the kids are in the fences. You know what I'm saying? And we telling them, come on with us. We're going down the street. We're going to be on 71 Oakman. And some people jumped right in right then and there. So next year, we want to make sure those people have flags and signs to hang. I'm going to bring them myself. We met a brother who sells RBG flags. A lot of the kids got to have flags that day. I wanted those back. I did. I wanted those back. But we were too busy to collect those. Enjoy those. I wanted those back, though. The oldies, the day ones, they was out there. I had some people come that just wanted to see if I was going to pull it off. You know what I'm saying? They were just kind of just watching, you know. So I'm glad they got something good to look at, you know. Juneteenth is a sacred thing to me. It's open. I don't tell people they can't come. You know what I'm saying? It's a public event, and I want you to know that you're always welcome. Everyone is always welcome. If you're not coming, it's because you choose not to come, not because I said you can't be there. Because I'm not going to pay attention to you. People see me. I ran around all day. I ain't got time. Whatever you're doing over there in your tent with your family, that's what you're doing. I ain't got to worry about you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then at high school, the catering, KE Pioneers showed up. I had several people from KE that showed up. Some can't be named, some can. So I'm just going to name none of y'all. But y'all was all there. I appreciate you coming out. And that's not even to mention the comedy show that we did in 90s 3 days before that as a fundraiser, which went very well. The 13 for 13 comedy show. We put up 100 posters in liquor stores and gas stations. We put out 3,000 flyers just to get our 150 people in the building. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens when you don't know nobody. I don't know nobody. I really got to promote the old school way where I got to walk up to strangers and convince them that this is dope and this is something they should do. And then they have this thing where they say you have to see something 3 times to remember it, right? So you put out one round of flyers in the same area first, 2 months out. They all go away one way or the other. Then you put them out again 60 days later. And then you put up posters. And then you hope when people start talking about Juneteenth, the people that have seen those flyers are supposed to be like, oh, wait a minute, somebody did tell me. That's what you're doing this for. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, the people who know already know where it's at. But I'm never spending money on paper flyers again. Never again. Because all day on June 19th, regardless of how many flyers I put out, shared, or made for the internet, I got call and text after call asking me where it was and where was we doing it at. Like, what time it started, where y'all at? Like, really? How did you even get to me through Facebook without seeing the flyer on my page? You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think either people can't read or they don't want to read. So I'm just going, next year when we promote, I'm going to use these news clips. I'm like, if you want to get down, let me know. You feel me? Because then I just need to do a text blast and tell people where we at. You know what I'm saying? Pull up. We doing all the Juneteenth stuff. So we're looking for fresh ideas. We had a brother call us today and say he want to take on a whole part of Juneteenth just for, you know, he want to head that. And we said, go ahead. You know, you go ahead and do that part and add that. I'm sure everybody gonna love that. So he's forming a committee to get that going. We're definitely open to ideas. I would like to keep that food challenge going. I want the food challenge to be a thing. I want that to be an annual thing. I want more chefs to be involved with that. I think that was a great way for people to get into the event for free. But if you want to be VIP, you got to pay that $13, and then you can go from vendor to vendor and get your little samples. You feel me? It's like all you can taste samples. So you can go to every vendor that's participating and get your little sample plate. You know, for your $13, like you're not beating that. And then everybody else, you know, they either brought food or they paid. So our vendors are all happy. I don't think any of our vendors left upset. And I'm gonna tell you, there was a lady there selling dog clothes, and her table was slapping. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I didn't even know people got down like that, but she was selling dog accessories. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciated that. And then people had my back. We had some sisters, man, and woman in the table, the registration table the whole time. I didn't get any registrations from anybody though. I got to get better with that, like getting emails and phone numbers, because there's ways we need to stay in touch throughout the year. Juneteenth Detroit Festival has funding to take this into schools, right? In the summer programs and also in the coming school year. If you want the 7 principles of blackness, right, to be instituted in our children, then talk to your school, talk to your principal. We'll come and do a presentation because, yes, the Juneteenth is the foundation, but once we're in the school and we have them to mentor them, the conversations can be had and the real mentoring can begin. So Juneteenth, the program will teach them how to grassroots start an event in their neighborhood, how to get the permits, how to go around door to door, just what it takes to put together an event in your neighborhood, probably with little money or no money. And in the meantime, we talking to them about hygiene. We talking to them about respecting one another, loving themselves. We can do all of that, but we got to get into the schools. It's funded, so it wouldn't cost your kid it wouldn't cost your child anything, and it wouldn't cost the school anything. So we just got to get into the schools, right? We got to be requested. We got to be asked, So let us know if you want what you've seen to be a part of your kids' curriculum. Because remember, people were saying they didn't tell us this in school. Well, I'm right here telling you we have a whole team of people ready to tell them this in school. But you have to tell your principal you want that in the school. People were saying, well, why didn't they tell us about Juneteenth? We have to tell each other. So now we have the funding to come to the schools and tell your children about Juneteenth throughout the entire school year. But you have to tell your principals you want that, right? Tell your principals, tell the Parent-Teacher Association, tell them you want the principles of Juneteenth and community unity brought to your school. And I got you. We're going to come in there. We're going to have a presentation. We're going to mentor them through fashion, through cosmetology, through art, through poetry, all the things that you've seen that you're tagging and sharing that you loved about that event. We want to mentor our children in those ways. They have football coaches. They have basketball coaches. They need to have people who are here to coach their intellect and coach their creativity. We have an entire village of people who are creative intellects who want to give it. They want to give it to your babies. But we need you to tell the system, which is the principals and the teachers, you want us, which is the village, in that school. And that's why we're not going to charge them anything, because there's no way they would pay us or pay for any of our supplies, any other robes that they need for the dancing and any other djembe drums. They're not going to pay for any of that. We're going to bring all that. We're paying for all that. We have the funding for that, but you have to tell your schools you want that there. So let's get that going. Let's get our story and our truth into our schools, right? So our babies can keep that going. That's why we focus on the next generation, because we don't want the kids to grow up and say, oh, Juneteenth was something that my parents and them used to do. So we have youth vendors, we have youth performers, because we want them to be proud of what they've done, Can you put up those logo pictures? Those are our sponsors. I have to say something for those people who actually paid for a package, like actually looked at the packages and chose one and then sent the money. Like, amazing. Like, that is levels to business. Everybody don't have to promote like everybody else, but for those who do, and for those who are looking for longevity, Juneteenth Detroit Festival will be here for some time. So we appreciate jumping and bouncing with Miss Yanni. With Miss Yana. Is it Yana? Yep, Ayana. Miss Yana, look, she provided all of our tables and chairs, right? And that's an amazing thing because if people ain't got nowhere to sit, they leaving. Our people are not comfortable yet bringing out the rolled up blankets and all of that yet. They don't really know how to festival like that yet, right? So they coming out sitting in folding chairs for 6 hours. We want to change that too. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate her sponsoring us for the chairs. My bad. All right, gotta do a million things at one motherfucking time, man. All right, so we had Qnique. It's called Qnique Fragrances. The one that's a black with the gold Q. Qnique Fragrances. That brother chose to be a sponsor. Thanks to Ms. Medina, he came via her, and we made him a banner. We had some young people carrying the banner. Can you put the picture up?
I did. Bro, I always tell you it's a 10-second delay. But when I put it
boom, there you go.
See what
you
I'm saying?
Put that up there.
No, I didn't.
It's gone. He's trying to make a fool
It's
out
gone,
of me.
nigga. I told you.
Okay, no, it's right there. Look.
It's gone
it's
now.
Gone
now.
I got to talk about it. Nah, it's gone.
This nigga don't know how to do TV production, nigga.
No, I don't. Qnique Fragrances is a brother who has the fragrances. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be at the event. He wasn't able to make it, but he is mixing up his own fragrances. And apparently he's doing well with it. So you definitely want to check him out. Qnique Fragrances. And then we have a sister on there. You should be able to see her face in 10 seconds. Or I should be able to see her face in 10 seconds. It's up right now, ain't it? Ha! Yes. Okay, so that's our sister. Her name is Whitney. She is a realtor. She is actually selling houses. She knows how to get people in houses with their credit, right? Just let her work with you. She's a cool sister. She got a big family, so she ain't running off with your money. She got like 9 children. They ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? She want to get you in the house just like she got herself into a house. So check out EXP Realty. She had our back. What's the other one? The O English D. It's 3. What is that one? I kept saying her name wrong. She been texting me about it the whole time. But shout out to D-Town Vinyl. Ha! Yeah. D-Town Vinyl, located on Evergreen and Grand River. When I tell you they killed it with the shirts, 2-day turnarounds on bulk orders. Like this, it was dope. The images are not coming off. I tried to run this by someone else. I washed it, and all of the print came off. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to wash it. You're not supposed to put it in the dryer, right? Because the dryer weakens it, but you're supposed to be able to wash it. I washed it. It came off. So we went with D-Town Vinyl. They held us down. They printed up a ton of shirts. We sold a lot of shirts. We still have shirts. That's why I don't put years on them anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to bust them joints back out in January, and we going to go from there. Nobody really supported buying the kids' shirts, right? And we black, and all our kids are big as hell, and most of them couldn't fit them shirts, right? Like, these are, like, average child. They like for children. You know what I'm saying? But
our shirts.
Yeah, like elementary. You know what I'm saying? Maybe middle if they don't eat as much. You know what I'm saying? But we appreciate everybody who did support the shirts. But we focus on family because that's what we want. We want to see a bunch of babies running around with the shirts on. You know what I'm saying? We got to get, like they say, they didn't teach it to us. They didn't tell us, well, this is how you give it to him. You put that shirt on him. He wears it that day, yeah, but then he pulls it back out and wears it a little while later. A conversation sparks up, and he has to tell a friend of his or a cousin of his about how much fun he had at Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the shirts on them. They're walking billboards. You know what I'm saying? So those shirts are still available. They are, what is it? They're $13 or 2 for 20. That's how we doing that now. $13 or 2 for 20. All kid sizes though. But yeah, this has been an amazing weekend. So now we're moving on to what's next. We're going to take a break for 4 weeks, and this will be the first time ever that we were able to start planning for next year, the year before. You know, so we're excited to be able to, if we did what we did, what you seen, we pulled that together by starting in February, right? By just starting our first conversations, going into people's inboxes, because that's really what it is. Most of those people that I contacted that was in that, I contacted through their inbox. And then you got to remember to follow up and talk to them again, because life happens, you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of people who said they wanted to be there and they couldn't. They ended up not being able to come. It's gonna always be early. It's hard to have a parade late in the day. Parades are early. Our parade started at 12. That's kind of late to start a parade. Y'all know how the Thanksgiving parade do. And right now we have 2 bands. We are on 2 bands. So King, the MLK, Crown Crusade, and Marching Band held us down for 3 years by themselves. Before that, we had the Fire, F-I-R-E, Volunteer Marching Band held us down for 2 years. And now, as of this year, we just locked in with the Chandler Park Prep Academy. They had a full band of young people out there. They sound great. Dr. Charles is over there. I believe it's Dr. Charles Thomas. I don't want to mess that up, but it's definitely Dr. Charles. He was out there. They had some great kids. Everybody was, mature and behaving great. So it was amazing, man. And it was exactly what we wanted it to be. So I appreciate everybody who came out. This was a Juneteenth wrap-up show. Don't forget, no matter what we're doing, we got to do it with respect for ourselves and each other, right? That's really what we be lacking when things go crazy. Respect yourself, and you more than likely can get up out of there, right? Because what I'm not going to do is look like a fool here because of you. That's what I'm not going to do. You know what I'm saying? So respect yourself, and we'll all be able to walk away. If we made it through Juneteenth peacefully, we can make it through another couple weekends peacefully. Y'all just got to give a damn. Now, we can't help what happened with them street dudes. Them street dudes going to handle their street dudes like they do. But those tempers that flare up, those type of, we ain't got to, that ain't got to happen. People who got too much to drink can't handle their drink, that ain't got to happen. So let's be mindful that our babies are around when we celebrating like this, and keep it safe and keep it calm, man. Y'all pat yourselves on the back. Y'all continue to share those photos and share those news clips, because we definitely made ourselves known this year. Shout out to the Juneteenth Michigan chapter. They had a great 2 or 3 great events. Those brothers are still holding on strong and doing their thing. We want to send a moment out to we wanted to take a moment and send some love out to Hattie Girl Ice Cream. They've been a sponsor of ours for the last couple of years, and we reached out trying to find them. They have suffered a great loss in their family, and since his passing, they have basically ceased all business. And they were in both Myers, and they were in Whole Foods, and they were in a whole bunch of You Buy We Fries. But you know what it's like when you lose a matriarch or a patriarch. You really got to build back up. You got to you got to. Who has the energy? Who cares? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just a few years before that, we didn't even know about Hattie Girl, so they was low key anyway. And now for that to happen, I guess I'm not surprised. But if we did let them know, like, hey, whenever you're ready to get back out here, we're gonna push it just like we pushed it before. We respect that family and that product. So sending love and blessings over to the Hattie Girl ice cream family. We appreciate all the help you've given us, and that brother was an amazing man to us. So, that is a loss. That's a great loss. We all had a lot of people. There's a lot of people lost people in the last year. We still here, and they don't want us to do nothing but be our best. So don't use someone else's loss as your crutch to do nothing. Ever since my brother died, I ain't gave a fuck. That's not what that person wanted. I don't think that's what they wanted. They want you to do your best and be your best. So let's do that. Let's go forward, and let's keep that spirit we had this weekend for the rest of the year, man. Because I ain't trying to see none of y'all gone too soon. This has been Go Real or Go Home. 60 minutes of what is, what was, and what will be. I am KONG. That dude is Mark D. This is the 7 Mile Radio. All right. I ain't know what to say after that. Peace, y'all. Y'all take care, man. Be safe.